Are you ready? Can crush us. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock them out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit them with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break them, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers. Let's go.
What's going on, you guys? This is the CEO of Shane Taylor Promotions and the baddest of all time, Shane Taylor, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast.
Season! It's time, baby! Welcome to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. That is Sir Michael Jenks. I was going to call you MJ today for some god-awful reason. When I was doing prep work, I just wrote MJ.
Do you want to go MJ with it?
Sir Michael Jenks, I love. It's in my heart.
All right.
I'm Mark the Mark. Welcome aboard, guys. It's Rumble Day. I hope you're listening to this prior to the Rumble so we can look awesome. Predictions in segment 3. Hold on.
Yeah, that's it. We're just going to get the podcast rolling.
But I did say to you as soon as I hit the whole Skype button, I can't wait to segment 3.
Yeah.
Mind.
There's so many options, opportunities, entrance, things. It's like, it's all over the board. It's going to be, I think it's going to be one of the better Rumbles we've seen in, God, a long time.
Listen, we're going to go down the path that everybody I know wants us to. But I think with things happening, yada, 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 I think there is changes. They're scrapping things, and we'll get there. But how was your week?
My week's been good. We have moved in Kimberly to the house, so it's been a fantastic week. We're living in bliss. So everybody's getting along well. Everybody's well acclimated. A lot of stuff.
Doggos too.
Doggos love each other. It's fantastic. So
Bailey. I'm the only one she hates.
I don't know why. I still have not figured out why you were not the favorite of the group right now. I don't know. But everything's going great. We have obviously stuff that's still put away in that, but slow progress. We're making it.
Life now.
Yeah, we get the whole life. So we're just making headway as we can. So yeah, it's going pretty well for the most part over here. That's literally been the week, is just trying to get everything and just kind of spending time with each other, quality time. So,
is she excited for Rumble tonight?
I think she is. You know, we have some more things to do today. As you guys are listening, probably the last of the stuff to come up. We did the major stuff last weekend, get everything moved in. We have some cups and all that, glasses to bring up, a couple end tables and that, and then
junk. And I'm not saying junk isn't, but
it's just that last remnants of what's left in the apartment. Let's bring it up and let's get it up here so then we can figure out how everything fits and integrate everything together. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Are you watching it live?
I plan to be watching it live.
Okay.
So, how was your week? I know you're excited to watch it, so we're not going to ask that question, but
it's my favorite pay-per-view. It really is.
It's mine too. This is, last year I think we talked about, like, it was kind of a letdown. It was like, it was okay. It wasn't the best one. It wasn't the worst one, right? This year, so much could happen. So much. It's going to be one of the better ones, I think, in a long time. But anyways, back to you.
I'm going to say this is probably going to be one of the better WrestleMania seasons still, because essentially WrestleMania is punched the clock. I'm excited to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and get ready for Perth. I'm excited for Mania. There's just a different buzz this year.
Yep.
Week in general, 2 interviews, 2 basketball games, a long night of pressure washing because I had a day this week.
Those temples needed to get done.
I have yet to start the temples. I'm still working through the real career.
Oh, okay.
Just to knock that off before I did one thing.
I was going to say it takes 50 years to get through the career, right? So you got to retire and all that stuff.
Right. I did do one SpongeBob thing. Well, there were 3. It was SpongeBob's house, Patrick's house, and Squidward's house. So I did those just to kind of see what they were like. Haven't done any Back to the Future yet. Christmas time, I did do Santa's Workshop, which was by far the worst one I've done. But I was just having, clearly you can tell I'm over it. Just had a day that I'm like, I have nothing to do.
Yeah.
We bought headphones from TikTok. We did the whole, hey, buy 2 headphones for $20, noise canceling, yada, yada, Bluetooth. I put those in, and my world disappeared. This is not a promotion for them. I don't give 2 shits if you buy them or not. But my world disappeared. I was just going to town pressure washing stuff. People went to bed in this house. The dogs were asleep on my side. And it's, for Mark, midnight's late.
Yeah.
I look at my phone finally, which just has music. It was just because I'm like, I really don't want this on there. So I just kind of picked it up and I'm like, oh my God. And they knew that I was not in the mood, but I was just there.
Yeah.
We just went to town. They just did their thing. They all went to bed. And I'm like, fuck, I wake up in 4 hours. What am I doing?
We all have nights like that, though.
Right.
I did that last Wednesday. Put on the record player.
I was too.
I just sat there. I was just like done. I just needed to relax. I shut the brain off, not do anything. Sometimes you just need to do that.
It was relaxing, rejuvenating, all of that.
Yeah.
But my career is almost done, so I do want to start some of the random ones. This weekend is hard pressed. I got my book from
good.
The Black Bart book. I read a little bit. So far, easy read, and I'll do a little bit more later when we go pay the bills, essentially. But, man, Vinnie Barry, we don't talk about him enough. He's got 4 books out. Easy read, light to understand. He's a great storyteller. I don't know if there's, and I'm being honest, I don't know if there's an award for best wrestling or something, but Vinny should be up there. Not just because he's my friend. I didn't know as much about Lance Von Erich's career, just a little bit that was on ESPN, and the short stories are always good. But I know Black Bart's career.
Right.
It's a memory. I mean, it is a TV in my head now just by Vinny's words. Unbelievable book. So, get it. It's available on Amazon, but I'll tell you more when we pay the bills. By the way, did you see the big post that our new store is up?
The store is up. It's running. It looks so beautiful in there, a.k.a. on the site, roaming around.
On the site. You can go to our website, and there's always a link there. But if you're like, I don't want to go to your website, I just want to know where to get it. It's a CrowdMade. If you go to crowdmade.com and type in Can Crushers, excuse me, it'll come up. Right now, there's shirts on there. I'll just put it that way. Shirts, hoodie, on there. In time, there's going to be a lot of other random cool stuff, which I'm not going to, because a lot of that stuff kind of has to get approved. Clothing, a lot of clothing is going to get approved, but the randomness needs to get approved. Like, I'm going to throw it out there. I want a shot glass with the logo on it. So, maybe you want a shot glass. Yeah, or maybe somebody else. So, yeah, that's up and running. More cool stuff in the works here on Can Crushers. So, it's been a busy week, but fun week. Yeah,
busy but fun, which is just the way we like it. So,
and as I reach, because I always love surprises for Jenksies on air.
Uh-oh.
Our boy Doug took care of us again, randomly. These just came in the mail.
No way. Oh, my God.
We both have one. Exactly the same.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, Doug's like, never say my last name, because whatever. But he sent us, he did a signing with Jake Hager, and he just sent us both it's a sweet picture. It's essentially Jake Jack.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's the U.S., there's the, when he was with ECW, but yeah, it's
a pretty nice looking
collage
picture too.
is the word I was looking for.
That's right, collage. It looks like MMA too.
Yeah. No, that's ECW.
No, the one.
Oh yeah,
that's right. Yeah, MMA. Yeah, that's the Bellator glove. Yeah. So.
Yeah. We the fucking people. So now I have more shit at my house for you. So it means that we have to do the bar crawl soon.
We're gonna have to. I mean, that's just the way to do that.
I don't want to go there first. So I want to talk about
happiness or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to talk about it's happiness, but it's also you could have done something. I am super excited for 2K24.
Oh yeah.
Amazingly excited for it. Listen, I'm spending the $120 to get the the WrestleMania moments one. I'm not gonna lie. It's $120 and I'm rounding. $120, $99 for the deluxe, or $70 for the standard.
Yeah.
The $120, you get everything that's ever coming out for this game. You get the moments, you get this, you get every DLC, yada yada yada. And I do love the cover. That it is my favorite cover of all of them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw this out there. If Cody isn't finishing the story at WrestleMania,
then how do you run this?
Why couldn't it be Bray? Because I'm on board that it should have won. If you were going to have 3, kudos to the women. Yes.
Yeah.
Support that. Your story of this is WrestleMania, so I understand that. Why can't the standard one be Bray?
Yeah, or I mean that's a great question. Or why isn't there maybe a Legends edition? But I guess that's the 40 years of WrestleMania. It's taking that one. That's a great question. I don't know. Maybe they thought
next year.
They could be Bray next year. It could be a Hall of Fame edition next year, if you will. So if you think about it, probably this year is going to get maybe a nod in the Hall of Fame, but it could be a Hall of Fame cover next year. Maybe they wanted to do WrestleMania. It was already in the works. It was their 40-year.
It makes sense for the big one to be that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I completely get it. I mean, and we're going to look back at this when it comes out, was it March 5th. March 5th. And
just
say, we're going to
already wrote off for the day.
I figured you would. But we're going to look at this in April if he's not finishing this story and saying, well, why would I need to finish my story if he didn't finish his, right?
Right. Yes.
Or, hey, let's get philosophical about this. Maybe this is all part of the story. We talked about the hard times thing where he lost it and then he had to fight people and get back to where he's at. He doesn't finish his own story. And he's the cover athlete for WWE 2K24 that's literally titled Finish Your Story.
Yeah.
Writes itself at that point.
It does.
But let me ask you this. Which new match?
Casket.
Casket? Or was it Casket? I was going to say, which new match? It's got to be Casket for me. Casket?
I like that you can have more people backstage in the brawl. That's cool.
I do too. Yeah, that's cool. But, yeah. I mean, influence match, I'm not... Okay, cool. But that's not my thing. You know what I mean? So Casket might be my go-to. Although special guest referee coming back is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Nice little touch.
And I didn't play this year's, so I haven't played War Games. So yeah. I almost pulled the trigger. Not recently, but like in the last 2 months or so, I'm like, it's going to come out WrestleMania. Just hold out, Mark. Hold out. And then I was like, well, I don't know, because I'm going to play it till July, because I'm not buying baseball this year.
Okay.
Not buying baseball this year. The only reason why I bought it last year was because Jeter was the first time in it. Yada, yada, yada. I don't know. Unless I'm in it. They call me tomorrow to say, let me scan you. I will not buy baseball this year.
All right.
There's no reason to. I can live with playing, horribly with my other teams. I'm okay with that. So yeah. I just lost train of thought. The casket is where it's at.
Casket's where it's at, yeah.
But I like the DLCs. I like that you're getting Dusty. I like that you're getting Superstar Billy Graham. I may dabble in a trading card thing this year. If other people that I know get it. Oh shit, we should have did that first, but we'll get there. A couple other people that I now play online with. Maybe they get it and we just do that kind of like a tournament between us or something. That will make the trading card fun compared to me playing some 8-year-old that's playing 24 hours a day.
No, that's fair. I'm looking at the DLCs now. I mean, damn, that second one's loaded. Charlotte, Macho King, Ray, Rhea, Trips. Because I had not seen the DLC packs yet until you just said something.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, $120 for me, well worth it. The first thing I'm going to do is blast through all the WrestleManias before I even start getting into... Plus, I'm not going to steal anybody's creative players because I know it's going to take about a week or two before people create a good Britt Baker or a Wardlow or something.
Yeah, they're going to be taking a while on that. I will say, it looks like I like the idea of an in-game shop. Like, they've had that before, but it hasn't been that great until... And you also make, like, pennies on a... 5
years.
Yeah, and it also was, like, pennies on a freaking match. So you make, like, 3 coins for winning a Elimination Chamber match, and you're like, why did I just grind that for no reason? But, yeah. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, so...
March 5th. Call me. Know what we're doing. Nothing. Going to sleep right after work on the 4th, waking up at midnight and playing through, probably. Those are the games I really... When I used to get wrestling games, I wouldn't let anybody come over for like a day or two.
Yeah.
Because I would always be the first one to get them. And the first thing I would always do is I would watch everybody's entrance even before I did a match. They'd come out to the ring, they'd get into the ring, turn it off, reset it, whatever. Boom, 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 boom. The entrances always get me.
Yeah.
I looked at the picture, and I even called Kelly in. And I'm like, look at this Roman Reigns. She's like, that's unbelievable. I'm like, yeah.
They're looking spectacular right now. Models are looking good.
Before we get to the dirty, we should have did this at the very beginning. Congratulations to my friends, our friends, Nathaniel Cunningham and Shelby Waters as they welcome in baby Lucas to the family.
Congrats, guys.
Very nice. Bad fella.
Gonna take over the family here in 18 years, maybe.
Right? Second generation. We don't want to go here, but we have to. We wouldn't be a podcast without it. It's fucking gross. It's sick. It's disgusting. I wouldn't piss on him anymore, even if he was on fire. And this is all the allegations. Jenks, these last, as recording, 24 hours has been, there's no other way but disgusting. If you read, I didn't read the whole 68-page thing, but I skimmed and I read some stuff. My God. Yeah, he did a lot for professional wrestling, but again, all allegations. I'm just going to say it, this is all allegations, but we're going to speak candidly. If Vince and his crew did this, holy mother of fuck. Just kill him and put him away now.
It's absolute disgusting travesty. And the fact that nobody stood up or said anything or nothing, allegedly found any wrongdoing in this whole thing, absolute travesty. These are the most sickening things I've ever read.
Yeah. And
it's not even close. It's just absolute trash. Trash human behavior is what is... understatement for describing it, but the best way I can describe it right now. Just unfathomable what the hell he was allegedly doing, and that Lockmore throw away the key.
Yeah. Disgusting. If you want to know, do your own diving and everything, I like that TKO has come out and said, we didn't own the business then.
Yep.
This is being paraphrased. We didn't own the business then, but we're sure as shit looking into it.
Oh, yeah.
It's tainted on them too a little bit. And I don't mean like they're going to hold it, wholeheartedly, but they own the WWE right now. Yep. People still associate WWE and Vince. He's still pseudo there.
Yep.
So I think they'll do what they need to.
And I'm going to be honest, and I said this to you, and I've said this to a lot of people. This is already in place. It went into place earlier this week, and now it's just a matter of when, in my opinion. Even if somehow this is all, nothing's held against them, it doesn't turn out, whatever, I think they're just done with it. They're done, they're cutting loose, and that's it.
Yeah. Could it be family members, though, too? So I'll stir the pot.
You might as well. I mean, because they were named.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then, yeah, it kind of has to be. But it also, I will say this as well, it explains everything that's happened since July 2022.
Yeah.
In that regards, where we're talking about staff leaving, coming back, leaving again when he took back over, and then it was, they may have done things that they shouldn't have, but the repercussions is they found out things they didn't want to find out, and it caused a ripple effect.
I am not one that completely believes all of Ryback's theories.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them are pointing now to, holy shit, this guy who we thought was a goddamn lunatic.
Yeah.
Maybe we have to apologize to Ryback and say, you've been spreading the word for 10 years now since he's been dished.
Yeah.
Because he instantly came out on TikTok today. Like, I follow him, but he's not a notification one to come right that I have to look at. Right. But it just came up in my page. And I'm like, oh, my God. And then that rabbit hole, and it's unbelievable. I feel for the victim. I feel for the victim's family that is passed, essentially, but still, it's just...
Well, to that point, I feel for the victim, and I feel for there could possibly be those that didn't come forward. Many that didn't come forward, and, she found the courage to come forward and do this, but I feel that if it wasn't just her, this was a thing, if this is true, this has been going on for quite some time, so I feel for her. I also feel that her name got leaked during this whole thing, because I don't think it was supposed to be released at any point in time, and that got leaked.
Yeah.
So those that leaked it should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be absolutely ashamed of yourself, because nobody needed to know. She doesn't need to relive or go through that again over the course of however long this will go on for. And it's heartbreaking, but it's heartbreaking of a situation, it's disgusting of a situation, but it's also heartbreaking that how often it happens in the world today.
Yeah.
Like that, and it doesn't come to the forefront, or it doesn't get brought to the light, or it's in a small company or something, so it can't be brought to the forefront. Nobody hears about it, nobody sees it. This happens to have the magnifying glass on it, but it's just heart-wrenching to see that it's still very prevalent, and there's still these sickos even alleged or not, these sickos out there in the world that are preying on these people, using their positions of power to prey on people.
That's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars. This girl was down on her luck, wanted a job, and then just literally takes advantage along with his crew, and it's sickening. Absolutely sickening. So if you happen to come across Can Crushers victim, we love you and we're sorry for what happened to you. Mark does. I'm sure Jenks will echo that. I
will 100% echo that. It's very terrible that it's happened to you and that, but God bless you as you go forward, because unfortunately this is something that will live with you night and day for the rest of your life, and that's just not fair to anybody. No. So those are our thoughts. Maybe we'll wrap back around to that when it's in court or something, but it makes me sick. Go ahead. It makes me sick, but to your point, we'll wrap back around to it maybe when it's in court. But right now, God bless the victim. Let's move on. Let's do something. Let's have fun with the podcast. Let's move to some lighthearted topics. We're going to have fun in segment 3 for sure. Do you have any hot topics besides those, or anything that we can lighten us up with? Well, I mean, just besides everything, now I don't know what's happening because they've shaken everything up in the company, storyline-wise, WWE-wise. And there's so many free agents now. Now the Rumble is more or less, you pick who's going where, what's happening, how. Things are being tweeted by Tony Khan, not against gender and hindering gender. He's good with gender because he lost. But now this was my favorite comment. I don't know if you saw this tweet. He tweeted earlier a picture of him with 2021 glasses and said AEW's 2024 is now AEW's 2021, which, if you followed AEW, obviously, since its inception, 2021 was a banger year. And a year of debuts, comeuppance. I think we're getting some shit going down tomorrow night on Collision for sure. To say, oh, you shouldn't have watched Rumble. You should have watched Collision because this happened. Yeah, they're teasing some people returning. Like, I'm excited that Serena Deeb's coming back. Like, I love Serena Deeb. Well, I agreed. Something else is going to... Somebody's debuting or something at this point. Who? They need to steal some of the tweets. They do. They have to steal the power of the tweet. Rumble's going to dominate. Can Collision get to 3 or 2 on the scale of Twitter? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I would imagine if somebody walks through that door. Yes. I think that's speculation. Tomorrow night, like segment 3, we're talking about Rumble, pure Rumble. Right. But we have to acknowledge in probably segment 2 what's happening and what will happen on Collision in terms of who do you walk through to make an impact. I have a thought. I'm sure you do too. Oh, I have hundreds of thoughts. I have hundreds of thoughts that people are just going into Rumble and they're going to be on Dynamite, Collision. It's going to be all over the place. There's a lot of fun that's bound to happen in the next 24 hours for you guys when you're watching either or tonight and listening to us. By the way, I'm pulling a Rick Rude this weekend. Did you know that? Pulling a Rick Rude? How are you pulling a Rick Rude? I'm on ours and then pre-recorded with our buddy over at the Final Count. Some stuff fell apart for him, so... As we always do, something falls apart, we call somebody that's reliable. He's like, will you do predictions? We recorded this because of my schedule well ahead of time. We had just heard about Seth's injury. We weren't sure how bad it was. Right. So, yada, yada, yada. Anything we just talked about in the last 10 minutes wasn't even sniffed yet. So I'm pulling a Rick Rude, but... One of the Rick Rudes might be, and I'm sorry, Ryan, I love you, but might be a little dated because we didn't have some information. You know what that means, though, right? The Final Count. is the WWE portion of this, and so we're the WCW right now. We're live. Well,
we're live.
Not live, air quotes, but
right.
So that means timeline-wise, your Saturday mornings when you're listening to this, you go pick up the final count, then come back to us to listen to it in chronological order.
Right.
Yeah.
See how bad my predictions are going to change. Because they're going to change.
So right here, right now, you've changed what your predictions were from 10 days ago, I think it was, or something like that? Yeah. I don't know what you picked, obviously, because I haven't heard it, but I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Anything else?
I got nothing. Let's talk wrestling. Let's talk wrestling.
Let's do the due diligence then, as we do. Pay the bills. So let's start with the book that I told you about. Vinny Barry has a new book out. And again, I still haven't recorded it because it sounds better as a read, I think, compared to a record. Vinny Barry has a new book out. It's Wrestle Black Bart. It's available on Amazon. Take the journey with Black Bart through his life's wrestling career, 3 decades of pro wrestling, stories about Dusty, Dick Murdoch, Sam Houston, Mr. Fuji, the Von Erichs, Brody, Ron Bass, when he was in Mid-Atlantic, World Class, Florida, all of those. And the big one that Vinny always wants me to say is the gimmick that Dusty offered him that he turned down. Unbelievable. It's all in there. And I'll tell you, reading the first couple chapters, it's an easy read. As I said, it's fun. If you remember Black Bart, why is my voice going?
I don't know.
If you remember Black Bart, as I said, that TV from the 80s can come back in your head and you watch it. So go. It's available on Amazon. Buy it. Some of the proceeds go to Black Bart to help with, his life right now.
Yeah. This is what happens, folks, when you pull a Rick Rude.
It is what happens when you pull a Rick Rude. Collar and Elbow, hats, hoodies, tees, all the cool things that Al Snow and the Hooligans have over at Collar and Elbow. Buy them all up and use our promo code.
Scan Crushers, save yourself 10% off for anything on Collar and Elbow.
Where can you listen to us?
Oh my God, you can listen to us anywhere your heart desires. Fill your ear holes on Apple, Spotify, iHeart. But if you really want a good deal, go to Podurama. Save yourself 50% signing up for a lifetime membership. It's seamless. You can pick it up on any device you have. Picks up right where you left off. Go to Podurama. There's other lesser-known podcasts, wrestler podcasts out there. You want Can Crushers. You're there for Can Crushers. Just go there for the Can Crushers.
Notably, I've actually been using that to listen to my podcasts. It's a pretty sweet app.
Yeah.
I will not tell you guys to use anything that I do not use. So, again, our new store is available. Shirts up available right now. You can go to CrowdMade and type in Can Crushers. This is horrible. This is not the freaking episode with my voice.
This is not going to be good. By the time we get to the Rumble stuff, you're going to be barely talking. He's going to have to hold up cue cards. I'm going to have to read for him. Nobody wants my voice for 3 hours by myself. That's for sure.
Go to CrowdMade and type in Can Crushers. It'll pop up. Or it's available in the show notes on our website, yada, yada, yada. We've posted it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and X.
I didn't know you were throwing that up to me. Sorry. X can give it to you. It's on there. So
yeah,
not Threads.
Not Threads. So, yeah, it's available. A picture of our. There, you can get to choose from a couple different color shirts too.
There's I think 6 options right now from what I did see out there. You'll love them all. It's just pink. Y'all rock pink.
Well, I want the pink hoodie.
I do too. The pink hoodie looks fly.
But I do like the cardinal red. Like, I love all the hoodie colors. I really do.
The hoodie colors are very, very good. Cardinal red, pink, black. I think
Irish,
there's gray, blue. Yeah, I knew it. I was saving the green for last because that's Mark's favorite color. So, but
I might have a couple of our hoodies coming. I'm just saying. I'm pretty excited about it.
You got to test out the source. See how it delivers.
So, More in the works too on the store, so be watching for that. And more in the works otherwise. And we also have WWE affiliate code.
Oh yeah. May work, may not, but it's an affiliate code, so it helps us out.
Well, it'll work. You just might not get a
discount. Sorry, I'll clarify. It'll work, but you might not get a discount with it. So you're just helping us out. Use it.
If you know you're going to buy the new Rock shirt and you already have $50 budgeted, cool. But if it clicks on and it gives you $45.99, you save money and you helped us.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
And not that a shirt's $50, but whatever. Listen, go do all that stuff. Just go do it. We need to talk wrestling.
We got to talk wrestling, but also, if you have questions, comments, things of that nature, why don't you reach out to us, cancrusher69@gmail.com, or you can record your sultry voice on our hotline, 814-299-6687, 3 minutes in length, not 14 calls, and it's not the WCW hotline either. It's just the Can Crusher one, so be good using it.
Yeah, it's free. It's
free. It's not $1.99 a minute, although that would have saved us 16 calls from Dan Mucci, so I'm just saying.
Maybe we should him.
Can we do a specific person? I'd love to sign up to test that out and find out if we can.
We'll work on it. Here comes Al Snow to tell you more about Caller Now. When we come back, we'll dive into AEW.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Duke the Dumpster Drosy, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
Welcome back to Can Crushers, folks. It's time. We're going to start with AEW, and then we'll slide into WWE because somebody made fun of me during the break. Oh, we're only talking about AEW on a Royal Rumble prediction show?
I just asked a question. As a co-host, I figured I'd ask the question.
It's a great question. Because, yes, we're not making predictions in segment 3, by the way. We're just teasing you.
That's all we ever do. That's all we ever do.
So, big things on AEW this week. I'll let you go first. I always jump the gun.
So, across the board, we're talking big things.
Yeah.
I mean, if we go across the board, I'll tell you what, it's not going to rival the Rumble tomorrow night, but Escape the Cage, the 3-on-3 match, they're building up House of Black versus FTR and Garcia pretty damn well. I'm excited for that. And even though I'm not watching that live, man, they have done an excellent job building up this rivalry. Started in Erie.
It did.
Before Erie took...
No, it started in Erie.
Well, it really kicked off in Erie. And now the past couple months, it's picked up a lot of steam.
Do you suspect... Here comes a frog again.
And this frog's got perfect timing.
Do you suspect a change, a switch, a bait and switch, that somebody possibly joins the House of Black?
I was wondering that. And I think you're thinking Garcia at this point, maybe. If I'm not, no. Okay. Who are you thinking?
Dax showed a little bit. I can't imagine them breaking up FTR. This is me just really big pile of shit and probably getting nowhere. Dax played some interest in it.
He did.
And I fell for it.
That's fair. But here's the thing. I thought from the outset, Garcia seems really odd. Like, it makes sense he's with FTR, but he just showed up to save. It's been kind of like not, I don't want to say out of nowhere, but it's not, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
I get he had the thing with Brody throughout the Continental Classic, but to me, I feel like he's corrupted. I
mean, don't get me wrong. I played the whole Dax thing because it was actually brought up on TV. I would love if Garcia's in there.
I think Garcia, Buddy, for the tag titles as a team, game on.
Yeah. Malachi can actually wrestle a singles match.
Game on. I think that I could see that happening. And think about it this way. Yeah, that's a big match, big time match. But you need something to go with it, I think. You have to have I wish I would have watched that moment. And you need to have about 4 of them tomorrow night to even say, to rival what the Rumble is.
I should have watched the Rumble on Sunday morning.
Through Collision. Yeah. I think they're going to pull something.
Who's the debut that you're thinking of the hundreds?
So here's the thing. It's relatively soon that there's going to be money walking through the door. In my heart of hearts, I want her to go show up in Tampa. But I think Mercedes is walking through into AEW tomorrow night.
I do too.
I think that's one of the biggest ones.
Even though her and Bailey took a picture today at fruit smoothie store.
That's the other thing. And on X, while we're recording, they put up her Instagram, and it's her and AJ Lee in a photo. I think it's just next level trolling on that part. So I think she's walking through the door at the other company. Now, love for her to just show up in the Rumble and just be done with it, right? But to me, I think it's going to end up being she's in AEW, and then we find out, I think there's going to be one more. I don't know who, but I feel like there's going to be one more. They're going to do like a double, not Wendy Richter, but...
You think it's another woman?
I don't think it's another woman. I think it's another man. I think it's a man.
Yeah. And I think it's during the Danielson and Nagata.
And it's probably continuing a rivalry that's already started.
Yeah.
Because he's here.
Yep.
He's already, he just kissed the mat in TNA. He's knocking on the door. He just kissed the mat in TNA.
Because then you have March 3rd 4 matches for them. That will be both of their first matches. You have a month to build up or tell the story of who they are for people that have no clue, that's lived under a rock.
Yeah, and have no understanding of who these people are, or what they do, or anything like that.
Yeah. And then, boom, your first big pay-per-view, which, listen, WWE won't have anything up against it. Then you can get the buy rates for Mercedes or Okada's first match on Okada's first match on AEW, essentially, but...
Yeah, Mercedes' first match, Okada just wrestling in general.
Signing, yeah.
And then you have Sting's last match. I think it's just writing on the wall at that point. It's literally just you increase buy rates by, I don't want to say million. It could be millions at that point.
Millions, right?
Millions. But it's even Sting's last match was going to get a significant buy rate because there's going to be,
right?
Even if you haven't seen wrestling in a while,
is it Sting's last match?
It's Sting. Sting's last match. I got to watch this. I remember watching him when he was blonde and a surfer. And then you get to see the idiocy of whatever Darby and Matthew and Nicholas are going to be doing during that match.
I love them.
I hope Matthew and Nicholas don't do anything but just mat wrestle. Like, that's all you get out of
their VPs again.
Their EVPs again. They need to just be as bland as possible in mat wrestle.
Yes. Frustrate both of them. Because you have 69-year-old Sting, I don't know, 65?
Something like that, 63, 65, whatever.
Who wants to be diving off stuff, and Darby just wants to take himself out of this world. and then you get the Matthew and Nicholas versions of Bret Hart and Owen Hart.
Yeah. Just mat technicians that are just...
Yeah.
If that's all they do is just mat technician work, they don't even have to be good at it. Just like, they could fake it.
Again.
The douchery around it.
My big one is actually, not my big one, but one of the ones that pop out. We need more Shane Taylor like he was against Mox.
I agree. And even that promo after that match with Mox, man, Shane Taylor, Shane Taylor's big time. The more screen time, the better for Shane Taylor on AEW.
I was a stir in this then. Do you think he sniffs the ROH title again? Like, is this his welcoming into, because he's been on and off in the whole AEW realm. I'll just put it that way. Is this his big build-up to spearhead ROH? He's been champ there before. He's done everything he possibly can do in ROH. He's amazing.
Yeah.
People forgot about him.
It could very well be. It could. I think this year is the reestablishment of ROH. It's that, I shouldn't say that. It's the emergence of the new ROH. And Shane Taylor getting this screen time to basically build the brand is absolutely what it needs. Besides Dalton Castle and Johnny TV having their, whatever the fuck Johnny TV did this past Thursday to wheel backwards on the split.
Right.
But Shane Taylor's going to bring that level of grit and seriousness. Veracity. That veracity is a great term. Put that in the title somehow. Veracity.
No, I don't even know how to spell it. It just came in my head.
Veracity. Verocity. Google that, and I think that's it. Veracity.
The veracity of the Rumble.
Veracity. Hey, rumbling veracity at that point.
We'll get there somewhere.
It's like the bare necessities, but it's the Rumble veracity. That was way too good. I don't know where my point's going. Shane Taylor could be the next ROH champion, to your point. They need a viable champion for him.
They do.
Right now. They need the viable person to get it off of Eddie. Shane Taylor's building up that resume right now. Facing BCC members. I know we got Tiger Style going after John Moxley last night as you guys are listening to this. Take it one step further. Hopefully it's not a one-off. What we see with the ROH people is that Shane Taylor gets up here for a week and then they do that and then he's back down. Give him the time. Give Shane Taylor Promotions the time of day. He can hold his own.
Get a couple members, too. A couple new members.
Yeah.
I love that Moriarty is with them now. Completely broke away from... He's been in some bad shticks.
Yeah.
He really has been. This one, I think, really fits him.
I would agree. I think it fits him perfectly. I don't think there's another group out there that could be better for him than Shane Taylor's right now.
Yeah. What else do you like?
What else did I like? What else didn't I like? No, I'm just kidding. We talked a little bit. I think the other thing before I go Hangman and Swerve, because they're putting on
upper level.
That's upper level. They're doing great. I got to give a shout out to Timeless Tony Storm and Deanna. Half black and white, half colored picture. But that promo was pretty damn good. Go ahead.
The promo was pretty damn good. And as much as I will bitch about the production of AEW to start Dynamite, that was the very first thing. Well, they're sounding like this. I didn't even turn the show on and I was pissed off.
They were saving the production for Suzuki and Edge, or Copeland.
Yeah. But that little bit of keeping Timeless black and white and Deanna in color, I'm like, Tony Khan's finally listening, saying that was a production thing.
Yep.
I don't think they would have done it 6 months ago.
No, I don't think so either. But I think Tony Storm has forced their hand to make that happen, to make that work. In essence, her character kind of dies or loses shine to it when it's in color. Yeah. Because when she's wrestling, okay, great. Tony Storm's a great wrestler, but at the same time, it's losing its shtick. As much as we've shit on the Fiend red light for matches and all that, because that red light is atrocious.
Atrocious.
But the black and white fits what her gimmick is. It's not forced on. It makes it elevated and elegant, if in that matter.
Because it's her gimmick. The red light
was not his gimmick.
No.
It was, that was my point I was making. It was forced upon him. Her gimmick lives in the 50s and 60s. Bray in the Fiend, it was forced upon him. He didn't live in the red. He just he was just adapted to the red. Oh my God, I made a Bane reference. You weren't born in the dark. You were merely adapted to it. But anyways, you get what I'm saying with that.
We had 2 shows this week. We had the Bang Bang Gang, or as we're calling them, the super group.
Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
Come together, and then they actually saved each other.
They did.
This isn't lasting past Revolution, though.
I can't. I think this is coming to a head at Revolution.
Yeah.
This is not...
By Revolution, we might be sick of it. Like, we were excited it happened. Okay, they made in the Bang Bang Gang, Bullet Club made the first save. So I would have never thought that's the way they were going.
Right.
With them. I thought maybe switch it around to The Acclaimed would have done the first save. Whatever. It's going to work. But you can see the writing on the wall that this is going to be by March 4th, right?
Yeah.
Is it 4th or is it 3rd?
3rd.
Yeah.
You're close.
March 5th is when 2K comes out.
Yeah. You're busy March 5th.
Yeah. When March 3rd rolls around, we're going to want this over. I already feel it. They're like, oh, it's fun. It was probably amazing to be there when they came together. But listen, this wasn't the Horsemen coming together. This wasn't the Shield coming together. This wasn't House of Black or anything that's really cool, or the Bloodline. This is just, we got 6 weeks. You two are going to face each other. Throw something fucking together and let's go.
Yeah. Well, and think of all the history that's here between the two teams as well. Especially add on to that the history of the Daddy Ass as the father of 2 of the Guns on the other team, and they had a complete public breakout in our wrestling world.
Right.
He joined the Acclaimed over his sons. This is not lasting. They're playing the part now. What do? You keep your friends close and your enemies closer. They may have a united front against the United Kingdom, or the Undisputed Kingdom, not the UK. They can't win that match.
The whole UK.
The entire UK. But they might have a united front against the Undisputed Kingdom. But if that's not the end goal, and if they're not chasing that, they're just going to start fighting each other. And maybe that's the story to be told here, is you think you can unite against us, but really you're just fighting amongst yourselves. Way to think about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. So listen, I told Jenks prior to hitting record, AEW really in general didn't do much for me. I mean, we're getting excited about these a little bit, but like Dynamite, this ranking system, Joe being on commentary the whole show, essentially, was boring. The matches were good matches.
Yeah.
The promos carried the show. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like, it's a 0.0 rating. No. For wrestling fans, there was just, there was nothing to sink your teeth into besides the upper level thing that we always want to talk about of Swerve and Hangman.
Right. And I feel like we could just beat that into a dead horse, so maybe we just don't bring that up. But, I mean, to that point, Swerve and Hangman, they're the upper echelon. They are the top level of what the company's trying to do right now. That is their top storyline. They're one that sells.
Right.
100%. I mean, that's just the way it is. We don't have to beat on it. I'm interested to see who these opponents they pick for each other are next week when we talk. But again, also, I don't think it's going to be anybody surprising. It's not like Swerve's going to pick Okada for Paige and Paige is going to pick Suzuki for Swerve or something like that. I don't know. You know what I mean? So
right.
Maybe he picks Ospreay. Who knows? But
I don't think he's ready yet.
No, he's not ready yet. He's still got one more match to go for Ospreay.
Yeah. I don't think he's ready yet. His will be in a pay-per-view.
His will be Revolution. Because, I mean, think about it this way. His last match in New Japan is the 10th, I think, in February. They face off in the cage with Bullet Club. Yeah, with Bullet Club.
Yeah.
United Empire and Bullet Club. So, we're not going to see him until after that.
No. I do have one major bitch.
Bitch it away.
What are they doing with Wardlow again? No way. Listen, we just told how we love Trent. And we do love Trent. Wardlow and Trent, he's supposed to be getting ready to take on Joe next week or the week after, whenever he wants to. Yada, yada, yada. He's fucking Wardlow. He's beaten 900 people up of security guards at one point. Yada, yada, yada. Man, Tony said it best, and I wrote down what he said. Yeah, he got the win, but Tony said he has not seen him he's not seen him look this bad before, look something like this before. And I agree. I thought he looked weak in the match. I love you, Wardlow.
But to that point, I'm going to question that. I'll play devil's advocate here. You mentioned it. He's only security guards, Bob and Tom, Griff Garrison, some other fucking people. Who the fuck is Griff Garrison at that point? He's now facing Trent Beretta, who we've hyped up as, oh my God, Trent's won a fatal four-way to face Joe for the Continental Classic title. Trent has been in this, has done that. Trent Beretta is, and I should have named him this, he's suitable, but he's also underrated as a talent. Trent's that first step into the next level the first step into the next level where it's actually formidable opponent. So now I think it puts the clink in the armor of just saying, maybe Wardlow's not as powerful as they think he is. And it starts
that's what hurts my heart.
I know it does, but I think that helps the story along too. Because if they put him up against Joe at Revolution,
he's not ready for that.
He's not ready for that, but hear me out. They put him against Joe at Revolution. Adam Cole can then turn on him because he wasn't what he was made out to be, what he made himself to be. Because remember, he's the odd man out in this.
He really is.
In this group. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to do any of this. He's only there by association because of his hatred for MJF. He made a deal. He's a hired gun. That's what he's there for.
God damn it, you're right. To the T, you're right. To the T. Listen, you guys already watched it. Orange Cassidy gets to pick 4 people to face, yada, yada, yada. Oof.
If Vikingo is not the challenger for Collision tonight, oof.
I mean, I don't even want to see that match. I don't want, but I mean,
I'll be okay with it.
Whatever, but I mean, that's you.
I get your taste, but it's not what you want. Yeah,
I'd rather see him take on the Butcher. I mean,
but to that point, we've seen that one before. A lot of those matches we've seen before, so really it's Vikingo or bust at this point.
Right. Well, I thought there was going to be, I don't know, noteworthy people in this. But there's so much going on Collision that has essentially 10 people, your main 10 people, locked up. I wasn't expecting Swerve or Hangman or yada, yada, yada. Maybe a past champion? Oh, wait, that's right. Isn't Sammy Guevara now on a cruise?
Yeah.
Jericho's on, and not that it was going to be Jericho, but he's on a cruise. Yada, yada, yada. So, being a dick, we get AEW Dark to face Orange Cassidy Saturday night then.
That's the way it is. just what they want to
There's going to be a match to start the show, right?
There's got to be one. That'll be the one to start the show because there's going to be flips and shit. Orange is involved. It's going to get the crowd excited. It'll start it.
Yeah.
Because honestly,
still not pulling me away from Rumble.
The cage match is probably going to be a half hour, 45 minutes of the show.
Yeah, and starting at like 9:30, which if you're putting yada to the yada, I would imagine the cage matches during the men's Rumble.
It's starting before the men's Rumble. I would peg it 9:45 is when the men's Rumble is, and that's when it starts. So you're going to have the cage match at that point. But see, playing the game, because you're going to have probably the Fatal 4-Way right before the cage match, or before the Rumble. People really want to see that. People want to see the Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah. I know.
Yep.
Do you have anything else on AEW?
Nothing else on AEW right now.
Yeah. Some of the other matches, like Penn and Hangman, it was a good match, but yeah. Where were we? Johnny TV's pissed off at Deanna.
Yeah, Taya and Deanna, that's just one of the introductory matches for Deanna at that point. Thunder and Red Velvet looked rough at times, most of it. So I don't know if it's just most of it. I don't know if the Red Velvet cake that she was baking up just fell flat or what, but the Swerve Hardy match is the one that, honestly, the Wardlow one, you've talked me out of it, and I'm okay with it now. Like, it takes just that little bit of somebody else's to say, okay, Swerve and Jeff Hardy for me, really? Swerve is he's your next champion. I'll throw that out there. There's my Revolution prediction early. He's your next champion. And I understand Jeff Hardy's a superstar. He's a legend, yada, yada, yada. He's pseudo-struggling with Jeff Hardy that we see can't jump off of his brother's back sometimes. Yeah.
That was the one that I'm like, fast forward. I just was annoyed. I wanted that to be a 3-minute Swerve kick his ass and then promo.
When he kicked out, because I watched it, he kicked out of the house call. No, I don't buy that. I don't buy what's been thrown down. I don't buy any of that. This should have been, I agree, this should have been a squash, but for some reason they had to build it up. Jeff hasn't been good in AEW.
No. Transition, WWE time. We'll do the weekly stuff, kind of hot topics as well, and then we'll go in and spend, I know, there's not a lot of stuff going on at Rumble. Only like 4 matches, 5 matches, depending. But we're going to spend a lot of time there. SmackDown.
Yeah.
I didn't care for the contract signing.
I appreciate the new flavor of threatening to vacate the title, so it became a triple threat match.
All right, yeah.
But then it was just your traditional contract signing after that. It wasn't anything. The wrinkle was fun. And Nick Aldis not being spineless was pretty good. But the rest of it was like, okay, cool. We've been here, done that.
WWE wants us to watch all brands. SmackDown, Raw, NXT. By the way, we forgot to talk about something big, and we'll throw that in here in a minute, to either bitch or be okay with. So you want us to watch every brand that you have, right? Yes.
Yeah.
So Santos joined the LWO, so his brothers, essentially. Santos left. He starts a new Legado. Couldn't Santos have a different, like, Joaquin and the other guy that I never remember his name, Santoro, right?
Cruz del Toro. I have it in front of me, that's why I was Santoro's better.
It's a lot better. And really the only reason why I remember Joaquin is because DJZ, he was on IWC, yada, yada, yada. But I do love the name. don't call it Legado, because it's not Legado. And I know you're going to say, well, there were so many different horsemen. I understand that. New era. Mark gets pissy with some stuff once in a while. Oh, that wasn't even make sure you pay attention to New Era Pro Wrestling. A lot of people are coming out. First show is going to be in April, and the Poconos come out, da-da-da-da-da. But
great promo spot.
Yeah. I really didn't like that they're called Legado del Fantasma now, because they're not a family. They just became friends.
Yeah. I completely agree. I can't even call it an upgrade.
No.
Because Humberto and Angel have been I get they were up here in 2020, but they haven't done anything in NXT.
Were they up in 2020?
Yeah. I mean, they were up. They were doing what, I guess, they're known, but doesn't mean they're good. Doesn't mean it makes sense. I'd root for LWO to win that 9 times out of 10, but this is all building up for the return at the Rumble, basically.
Was that a spoiler?
It's a spoiler, not a prediction.
Okay. I love that Pete Dunne's back.
I love it too.
Pete Dunne's back.
Yep.
That match was just to show that Pete Dunne was back.
Cruiserweight, 100%.
I wanted more from the KO show with Logan.
Yeah, they were off. They kept it off and kind of like short, not sweet. It was just like, okay. What? Like, why were we holding back?
Exactly. Are we getting did you guys get anything last night as we're recording? Yada, yada, yada. I don't know, but it's not going to be enough that's why I think possibility that this is more than a one-time match.
I think I would agree, but it's not KO versus Logan. This is about Sammy versus Logan in 2 months.
Yeah.
It does not feel like it's
No. We had a promo. I'm ripping WWE apart right now for a minute, but we had a promo a couple weeks ago about the Unholy Reunion making a big return, yada, yada, yada. They get a championship match because they kind of got screwed over from their championship match. And I'm happy, by the way. I am extremely happy. You got the Unholy Reunion. You have Chance and Carter. I love, actually, Shayna and Zoe. Mm-hmm. I love Candice and Indy. Who else were out there?
Yeah.
But you have tag Chelsea and Piper, but I think that comes to a head as well soon.
Right.
But there's at least 4 that we can talk about. I didn't expect them to win the championships, but to be the next ones in line. Oh, the Kabuki Warriors, by the way.
Warriors, yeah.
We know where that's going. Why can't the Unholy Union? Maybe that's going to be the next opponents, though, for the Kabuki Warriors.
It could be. It could very well be them as their next opponents, but I don't know.
That's the WrestleMania match. I'll put it that way. Maybe not their next opponents, but their WrestleMania match.
Maybe. Which would be fantastic, because let's assume they don't have the women's titles, tag titles at that point. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. Who knows?
Well, the titles aren't flying tonight.
Well, right, I know. That's what I'm saying. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Obviously, we're recording before we actually know what that is. But I feel like, do you sacrifice them that early, bringing them back? This is the thing where, to me, you have to build them back up before you take a loss. Right. Even the tag champions.
Yeah, why didn't Unholy Union beat Natty and Tegan, or Shotzi and your mom, or whoever?
Yeah, exactly. Build them up. You've used enhancement matches before to build teams up to get them tag team title shots. This is an established tag team. Do it.
Yeah.
Put it in and do it.
And sticking with SmackDown, essentially, is where we're at. I could have gave 2 craps about the 2 main event matches of AJ and LA and then Randy and Solo, because the writing was on the wall of It would essentially happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, these were WrestleMania preview matches,
right?
Essentially to me, because what happened. No contest, whatever it is. It's literally, and Orton got the win here because Solo's probably going to get it at Mania, and LA Knight and AJ, they're not going to give away that finish until maybe Mania. Yeah.
Raw 1600, longest reigning show on episodic TV.
There it is. The episodic.
Coming to an end, and everybody's going to go, it's coming to an end in January when it goes to Netflix next year. It's probably coming to an end October, because that's when the contract with USA comes. They don't have anywhere to go from October till January.
Yeah.
How do you feel, before we knock out Raw, how do you feel that it's going to Netflix?
I don't hate it because I feel like it's the next evolution of the business. I get the argument that I don't want to pay for another streaming service. I don't want to pay for this. I don't want to pay for that. Cable's a dying industry. It's been dying for years now. And even though they have a strong relationship with USA, they have a long 30-year history with USA essentially now. It's not, you have to understand when the writing's on the wall. This deal with Netflix,
$5 billion. That's enough writing.
That's a hell of a lot of writing. $5 billion to move this to a streaming platform where they can now show their pay-per-view, their PLEs.
Anything they want as well.
Exactly. So whatever you see on Peacock, even though it's not moving to Netflix in the U.S. right away, it's already going there for the UK.
2026 it's going to.
Exactly. When that contract's up, it'll move over. Anything they want. They can develop anything, do whatever they want with Netflix. The possibilities are endless. Even whatever happens with SmackDown's deal or whatever they do with SmackDown, don't be surprised if this is part of it. It's just an opportunity to get it in front of more faces.
Raw may be the edgier show.
True.
They understand that there's Nimrods out here. Now, we don't want blood every match, Moxley. But Raw could be that show that
TVMA.
Attitude Era comes back.
Yeah, TVMA. They can do whatever they say, do whatever they want. UFC, the parent company, is going to allow it because when they have pay-per-views, they brought it like nothing. I mean, nature of the beast. You're right. You're absolutely right. Netflix gives them the opportunity to do edgier television.
And think about when you're at a live event. This is one that I thought about. You're recording to put it on Netflix, or it's streaming on Netflix, okay? There's no longer needed 10-minute commercial breaks.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's going to... Do they stream live stuff on Netflix? Clearly,
they will now.
Well, that's what I mean. Clearly, by next year, they're getting something set up that it's going to be a live streaming service as well. So that's number one. Who else is jumping onto this then, by the way? MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL, And my big thing is, listen. Everybody's like, well, I don't want to buy another one. Netflix was the first fucking streaming service out there. You had Netflix before anybody else ever thought of a streaming service. I've had it since it was $5. Now it's whatever, 15 or grandma pays for it. Whatever. But I'm just saying, like, you just have this one built in anymore. Everybody has Netflix.
Well, but I'll play devil's advocate because I don't. Because I sat there and I looked at Netflix and was like, and Kimberly did the same thing. We looked at it and we're like, there's nothing really exciting on Netflix that we want to watch. So why do we keep this? Right? So you cancel it because you're like, well, why do we keep this? Our shows are showing up on Hulu and Peacock and other platforms where we're like, okay, we don't need Netflix. Now it's making that transition back to Netflix, and it's saying, well, we got to pick up Netflix. But to your point, this opens the possibilities for so many live events. This is the guinea pig. Mm-hmm. This is the guinea pig to see how many people will make the transition, not only to pick up Netflix for professional wrestling, but how many would pick up Netflix just for a sporting package, for maybe NFL ticket or NFL Red Zone or MLB
innings,
anything MLB. Exactly. It's giving them the opportunity to test the market, to play with it. Because let's be honest, Netflix has been taking hit after hit after hit the past couple of years, especially with the password crackdowns and all of that stuff. The future of Netflix may not be in streaming movies and TV shows. It may be in streaming live sporting events. It's seeing what Fubo's doing and saying, I can improve on that, but I can focus on pay-per-views because this person will pay $20 a month to watch a premium live event and get content with it. So it opens up that possibility there.
Yeah, to go back to a point, the writing on the wall, Peacock is done.
Oh, 100%.
WWE in 2026. Everybody's like, well, I have to keep them both now. Yeah, I get it. I do get it. For a year, you're going to pay that extra $100 to have them both.
Yeah,
you get Peacock for free. You just get way many more ads than you do.
But even the limited ad subscription is $7.
Right.
It's $6. Okay.
And I understand everybody doesn't have the money, and we're not being completely douchey like that.
Right.
But maybe suck it up for a year, and then I'm canceling Peacock then. If all live events and the library is going over, that's the only thing I turn on Peacock for.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only thing I turn on Peacock for, but we need Peacock here for other shows and that. But you find shows to watch on Peacock.
Right.
And that's the beauty of the streaming service is I may go there for just professional wrestling or parks and recreation, but then your significant other, like in Kimberly's case, she's there to catch up on Real Housewives or for, Night Court, which is hilarious. I just started watching that. That was fantastic. Or, Psych or things of that nature. You find those shows to kind of watch. That's the beauty of the streaming service. So I'm also, let's take that point and run with it. Netflix is probably hoping for that as well. Hey, maybe you're on here for WWE content, but guess what? We have this thing called The Witcher. This might be something up your alley. Yeah, Squid Games. We have these different things. Hell, we've had Orange Cassidy play The Floor is Lava on here before. Watch that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It helps open the possibilities for those recommendations to come through and get people deeper into the content stream that's going on Netflix.
We're off our high horse about streaming services. Seth starts the show. Man, to me, it was bad. We're going to take it day by day. We'll see. I'm carrying this title into Mania. It means he's not going to be at Rumble.
No.
He's not going to be a purse now. So there's a switch of some sort.
Yeah. He's showing up basically to, how you do? I'm here for the month of Mania, and you can't touch me until actually WrestleMania probably.
Yeah. And I believe no matter what happens, and this is not a pun, and I used it talking just to some friends, he will limp through his Mania match with whomever it's going to be. And then he'll ride off into the sunset until SummerSlam or whatever and have the surgery done. So I believe wholeheartedly Seth will be at Mania. Not sure who his opponent's going to be, though.
I don't know who his opponent's going to be, but, man, this injury couldn't have happened at an interesting time with the contract coming up, huh?
Yeah.
Does it extend the contract, or is he working through it to say, well, I've been working, so you can't tell me I need to add
one more year.
I have to stay one more year. I have to add 3 months, 6 months to my contract. I've been working through this.
Maybe that's why he's worked through that back injury the whole time, because he knows.
He knows if he tries to hold up and say, let me rest, they're going to say, well, we're going to add a year onto your contract in that. Because he could take 3 months in the summer, divvy it up, and then show up in London if he wanted to.
Right. That'd be all right, wouldn't it?
It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Pretty close to Ireland, too. Think of that connection.
There's somebody else there.
Yeah, somebody else. Can't put my finger on that.
No. The only thing I really want to talk about, and then you can talk about whatever else, the Punk and Cody face-to-face is on promos of the year already.
Yeah, that back and forth barbs.
Yeah.
It was back and forth barbs, making comments. I'm Dusty's kid now. Oh, maybe ironically I'm the CM Punk. More CM Punk than you. Don't know how that maths, but that maths somehow in Cody's brain. But it's there. We got
is this, and I know this is how my brain works. Was that the essential ignition of Cody turning heel?
Could be. I mean, you get frustrated, loses the Rumble, can't finish the story at Mania. It's frustration. It's aggravation.
He's on the cover of 2K and he shouldn't
be. It's a lot of things and a lot of pressure. Cody's gonna get a reality check or a frustration thing where he does turn heel.
Then you don't want him to finish the story next year.
Well, wait a minute. Maybe he does turn heel, but it's on Punk. So then it's, I had to get this out of my system. I had to do this. I have to turn into this. Then he starts earning your trust back to get back out of the dark place. Roman's sitting there, because let's say he holds on the title, he beats Hogan, he's sitting there. You walk back on the throne of lies, and you try to knock down the king at that point.
Next year.
100% next year.
Yeah. Do you have anything Raw you want to talk about?
Looking through. No, we can belabor our truth being the one of shining lights, but Raw had some good commentary, some good things going on, especially that promo between Rhodes and Punk. It's build-up season. They had some good one go home on Raw shows coming through. SmackDown tonight, or SmackDown, if you guys listened last night, I'm sure it probably started checking boxes left and right to get us to the main show. But it's also a neutral. It's only coasting down the hill because it's about to coasting up the hill so it can shoot down the hill and start the road to WrestleMania at 8 o'clock as you're listening to this.
Yeah.
The road begins.
In about 12 hours, if you listen to it as soon as we go live.
Yeah.
All right. I need a beer. We're going to take a break, and we come back. The rest of the show, we are going to rip our brains out and discuss our favorite pay-per-view.
Let's do it.
Hey, everyone. It's Journey Burke, the Law of Attraction, and you're listening to the Can Crushers podcast.
Look in our eyes, and can you see... It's segment 3, and it's the cult of personality. No, JK, it's Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast, guys. We're rolling in. It's Rumble. It's time. It's our favorite show. Boom. Saw.
Boom. So, let's talk party a little bit. And I know party is you, Kimberly, and the dogs. Yeah. It'll be me and the dogs, essentially. You making anything? You getting,
here's the thing. We're finishing. Yeah, well, you know what? I think I do need to get a beer, some more beers, because listen, Mad Elf is delicious, but it's also 11%. And if I have 2 to start the show, I'm not finishing the show. So I'm going to be like Cody Rhodes and not finishing this story at that point. So we'll see. I wasn't sure what to do. I don't know if I'm doing too much craziness on my end with it. So, because we're doing some final stuff beforehand. So may just become home, bag of Doritos, bag of hot buffalo pretzels, and just sit there and become a slob and watch the show. What about you?
I came into a $50 gift card for a beverage distribution center about an hour up the road.
Oh.
Don't ask how. The little black market stuff. No, I'm kidding.
Sold a kidney.
Yeah.
Or a toe.
It'd be because I have many of those inner body parts at work anymore.
That's what makes them valuable.
Yeah. I'm giving you my last one. So I'm going to go up there, and I normally don't. I love it, but I don't buy it because it's so damn expensive. I'm going to get a case of Guinness.
Okay.
I'm not going to drink a ton of them because, just like the Mad Elf, I will not finish the story. And there's one pizza in town that nobody else likes in my house. Mm. So when I know it's just going to be me and the doggos, they don't mind it. They like the crust. It's got the ricotta and the tomatoes on it, and they're not into the ricotta at all. So I'm going to order those.
They're not into the fancy pizzas, what you're telling us. Yeah.
So I don't know how ricotta and Guinness go together, but we're going to find out tomorrow.
There's a lot of curds going into a beverage like a curd, and it just doesn't sound like it could be good. I'm going to need a report on how you survived that, by the way.
I know. You'll be getting texts, I'm sure. I'm stuck in the bathroom. What the hell's going on? How do I get Peacock on my phone?
Turn up the TV.
I'm going to do something stupid tomorrow. And you're like, what? We have Pergo in the house.
Yeah.
And, like linoleum. I'm going to throw a coat of wax on all of it tomorrow.
What?
Yeah, kind of.
Because why not? Slide into the Rumble?
I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm going to sleep until 6, probably. Post the podcast, yada, yada, yada. And then get to, it's almost spring cleaning time. Not really, but the dogs, it's been muddy. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
So it's not just clean it up, it's go fucking full force.
Yeah.
We'll throw a coat of wax down tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta clean the couch in the spare room now because it's full of mud. Bailey's Bailey, so I get that.
That won't happen until April. Same reason. Pause, this, that. They don't want to say we live in filth, but you wipe it up, but you can still see it, right?
Yeah, I think to that point, it probably should end up being that we'd put down, like, the waterproof blankets or something just in that room, just to kind of... Because she'll run in, jump on it, and then, yeah.
Yeah. I was told that we've had our furniture for 10 years now, so it's almost time anyway. That's another battle. It's another battle.
Well, we know what tax season's going to bring for you.
No. Listen, I'll get hate on this. And she doesn't live, because we've talked about wrestling, so she won't listen this far. She wants to go see Matt Rife. That's exactly what I said. She likes him.
I mean,
I drag her to baseball. I drag her to football. I drag her to...
You gotta take one for the team.
Yeah.
It's just the shit that's come out. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't like him.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Don't blame me one bit. But anyways, we're in a Rumble.
By the way, it's in Atlantic City.
Oh, well, that might be okay.
She's got a gambling problem.
Oh, well, I guess that's not okay. Get 1-800-GAMBLING on the phone. Speed dial there.
Rumble time! If she listened this long, I am fucking dead. So, if she listened this long, I will know in time enough to meet you at your house for Rumble. Is that a deal?
Yeah, that's fair. Because you're going to be driving as fast as possible.
Yes.
Although if there's going to be a scene at my house, it's going to be kept outside. Just want that.
No, she won't come up there. Plus, she doesn't know how to get to your house.
The
only scene would be between me and Bailey.
Truth. Although now she's got backup, so it might be more.
I know. I know. And I'm sure Kimberly doesn't like me.
Well, she hasn't met you, so we can't make that determination.
Go ahead. Let's go. Rumble time.
Rumble time. Well, how do you want to do that? So we talked about this. Now you mentioned we weren't doing predictions, so I'm assuming we're not doing predictions for the Rumble matches, right?
I don't want to rate. No, we're going to do predictions.
We're not going to go 30.
Yeah, I'm not going to say Priest is coming out at number 1. I'm not.
Yeah, no. It's probably going to be more or less of surprises.
Yep.
Maybe a Final Four. Maybe debuts. Surprises, debuts. Who's winning this thing? If you come together with a Final Four, great. But I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I could put a Final Four together for maybe the men. I don't know.
I could put a Final 2 together for both.
I think I could.
3.
That's fair. Maybe it might happen. But let's look at the other matches first, and then we'll talk Rumble. We'll talk Rumble after that. Let's start with Logan and Kevin. I think we both have already talked about this and kind of talked ourselves into this. There's a bigger game at play here. This is
by the way, title on the line. This is our favorite pay-per-view. We're enjoying this.
Yeah. Good call. I think this is Logan Paul just winning this because Kevin's going to put him over, but I think it's for something bigger at Mania.
I completely agree. I'm writing our stuff down so we remember.
Yeah.
But I think Kevin gets close.
Oh, yeah.
I really do. But let me stir this. I wrote Logan down for both of us because we have Sammy, correct?
Yeah.
Right. How about KO does win? Logan can get into another high-flying adventure with Ricochet or somebody like that to really show off what he does in the ring. Sammy does return Rumble, whatever, gets beat up, yada, yada, yada. But then the story switches to, that was supposed to be my shot, and we get Sammy KO at Rumble that is always a fucking barn burner, and we would probably pay hundreds of dollars just to see that match.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's a filler match whatsoever, but it is a great starter to night 1. It is a great starter for night 2. It can go anywhere in between the Andre Battle Royal or whatever.
It ignites it. It ignites that. It'll ignite the crowd, 100%. Yes.
But I think we spoiled it. I think Sammy winning it from Logan is a bigger pop, and that actually starts us to lead it to SummerSlam between those two.
Yeah, because then KO becomes jealous of Sammy, and we can get down the same path we've always gotten down with KO. Because right now Sammy is too big of a face to make that transition, to have that transition to happen. It just doesn't work for Sammy. He's reached too high of a pinnacle. He's too nice of a guy, considered too nice of a guy. He's already past that. He's done.
KO's on that line. They can jump back and forth.
Exactly. KO has always ridden that line, and he always will. So it leans heavily for KO.
Sammy comes out in this match, though.
Oh, yeah.
This might be the start of it, and I'm not knocking anybody in Can Crusher Nation, anybody listens, me, you, or anybody. This might be the match lighting between Sammy and KO. Mm-hmm. Maybe a trip goes the wrong way or something like that goes the wrong way. They double noggin knocker, and then that's the way KO loses. This is going to probably be more technical match than Logan has ever had. Like, he's been at the PC for a while.
Yeah.
By the way, and he's resigned. Which
he's resigned.
I think that's a good resigning.
I think it is too, and I think it seems like he's taking this more seriously now with this re-signing. So it could be they're leaning on him heavier and say, "Can you do this more often? Can you be here more often? Can you go to Saudi? Can you do this? Can you do that?" This might become the full-time gig for Logan. On top of everything,
Full-time 6 pay-per-views max.
Maybe, yeah.
12.
I think you're talking Money in the Bank. You're talking a lot of the big
Oh,
6.
yeah. You're not going to Backlash, or maybe Backlash. You're not going to Roadblock or whatever it is.
Well, that's the other flip side of this. Is he doing the international shows now? Like Perth, big one. France, Backlash, that's a big one. You're going to France. Maybe he does that. Maybe he does, you know what I mean? He's going for these international shows as well because he's well known in those areas. So it's quite possible that he could be making those trips.
Yeah. I do want to talk about Perth a little bit because we're going to pause because it's our show and we can do it. With Roman not going, and I know it's right around the corner, and the Elimination Chamber will be the main event, the women's main event as well. It'll be 2 co-main events, and it'll only have possibly 5 matches on it as well. Who else are we dragging over to Perth? I mean, we have to take minimum of 10 over, right?
Yeah.
6, 12, I mean, for the Elimination Chambers. What else are we doing if we don't showcase, and it's not that we own it, but if they don't showcase in Perth for this fucking Megalodon pay-per-view that they're bringing to Australia, and we're waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning for, is it going to be a snoozer besides the Elimination Chambers matches?
Quite possible he could be. I mean, well, you don't have Roman. You don't have Seth. Let's say Cody's in the Chambers. That disqualifies him as the attraction because the Chamber match itself is the attraction. If Johnny Punk decides, maybe Punk wins tonight, not saying that's his prediction, but maybe Punk wins, does he have a one-off match in Perth just to kind of drum up some things?
Who are you taking out of the Chamber then? Because you're not going to give them Otis.
Do you get him Tom or Nick Mysterio at that point?
Maybe.
I mean, you did it at the Garden.
Right.
So, or maybe get Priest. If Priest doesn't go to the Chamber, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Or, maybe we're overthinking this. Maybe they don't put Cody in the Chamber. Maybe they do Punk and Cody in Perth for whoever wins the Rumble.
Slowly roll. Back to Rumble.
Let's slow it back. But think about that. Alright. So we've gone down deep paths. We'll probably revisit that one in 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk Fatal 4-Way. Roman, Randy, AJ, or LA Knight. I think a couple weeks ago, I thought this could go could have been a lot of different ways. The way this is shaping up now and the way things have had to shake up, it's really smelling like it's a head of the table battle at Mania. So I don't think Roman's losing this title at Rumble.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. Now, this is a match that they announced before, oh shit, we could have done this.
Mm-hmm.
But this came out, or that came out, or this injury happened. We announced that already, guys. Yep, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
You're not going to injure 3 of the 4 people in this match and not have them in the Rumble.
Yep.
So, listen, the bold prediction of Roman breaking Hogan's record doesn't sound so bold anymore.
No, it sounds pretty much on course for what needs to happen here.
I'm writing our predictions now on the calendar. So it's noteworthy of the dime.
I mean, wow.
The calendar's always in front of me compared to finding a notebook.
That's fair. That is fair.
Only took 6 years.
Hey, you know what? great thoughts sometimes take time to develop and think of.
So yes, Roman's winning.
Yeah.
But does somebody come out after the match? Does somebody?
Let me ask you this: is this the main event then? Because if somebody comes out after the match,
it's got to be, right?
It has to be. Because
Tony, that's the women first or the men's?
Women. We'll go women first. That was the wrong mouse. Okay. Women's match. Surprises. Let's do surprises, debuts. Who do you think? Who are you thinking?
AJ Lee.
Yep.
Kind of big. AJ Lee. Liv returns.
Mm-hmm.
Dakota's cleared.
Yeah.
Jade Cargill. Naomi.
Yeah.
Those are all ones that have been talked about, essentially.
Yeah.
So I just stole those from everybody else.
All right.
Alexa Bliss is my big one.
Okay. Yeah. I like that.
It's been a while, and I hate to say it. It's been longer than Carmella's.
Yeah. So I would agree with everybody you just said there. I didn't think about Bliss. That's a good one. I don't know. I wanted to say Carmella in that list as well.
I would love to say Carmella.
I would love. I'll say Carmella, so we're different. But I debated it because I wasn't sure if she was ready to do it, get back to it, and all that stuff. I'll also throw this caveat out here, and I think I alluded to this last week. There's about to be I could see a John Cena 2008 moment going on here where we think they're injured for a year, 9 months, and then all of a sudden walk out in 3 months and be golden as possible. Charlotte's posting videos like she's
better than she was before she got injured.
Exactly. Like she's the $6 million man at this point. She seems to be running good. She's putting a lot of pressure and weight on it. I don't know knee surgery that well, but for somebody that's 3 weeks removed, no brace on their leg when they're working out, that seems like a little bit of a push to me that they're in a lot better shape than what we've been led to believe.
And knowing the wrestling business, you know the wrestling, we know the wrestling business.
We all.
A Rumble Battle Royal is usually somebody's debut match when they come out of training, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very first match, you get thrown into a Rumble, this, that, or the other. So they're kind of safe. Charlotte could come in, do some stuff, fisticuffs, maybe not put a lot on that knee. You're not going to see natural selection. You won't see, clearly you don't see the figure eight in a Rumble anyway, yada, yada, yada. She could do some of that stuff against ropes, leaning ropes, body slams, weight on one hand. She may not be mixing up with Nia Jax. And then we don't see her until Mania again, or a couple weeks before Mania, or she pops up at Perth to challenge the person that we're going to say she's going to challenge, that we've alluded to for a long time, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
It's viable because I'm not saying it's a safe match. No match is safe in professional wrestling. Anything can happen at any time. It is, maybe she's in there with Bayley for a minute. And the way that she gets eliminated, the rest of Damage Control comes and they kind of just like body slam her over the top rope, or, and she's caught and then she falls out of Io's hands or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It's a way to bring her back, and it's a way to, holy shit, 3 months from surgery, and then she just starts cutting promos. She doesn't have to wrestle for 2 more months if she doesn't want to. Bless you.
Thank you. No, I completely agree. I think the only tricky part of a Rumble is how you get them over the top rope gently down. I think to your point, you talk about a body slam, lift them over, kind of gently put them on the apron, they can roll off type thing. There's a way to do it for her if she's not 100% to make it happen. And it could be like a 30-minute minute and a half tops. We're in, we're out, we're getting in, doing that. But we'll have to see. But I think that's number 30. It's going to be the big pomp and circumstance. Charlotte, oh my God. I'll say right now, don't think she's winning it.
I don't either.
Even if she shows up.
I wouldn't have picked her to win it if she didn't have this injury this year.
I agree. She was never my top pick for winning the Women's Rumble.
No.
So, all right.
Who is your pick, sir?
Debated this, but for the past 3 weeks, I've settled on one. And it's because I think she needs it more than anybody else that's going to be in this Rumble, and I think it makes the most sense to start the path, kind of take a little Batista-esque path from a Rumble victory to, and not 2014 Rumble, but
not Batista.
Not Batista. I think we gotta talk. This is Bayley's to win/lose at this point. To me, she wins it. It kickstarts the rivalry with Damage Control. They're going to pressure her to say, you don't go against us, da-da-da-da-da. Bayley, right, wrong, or indifference, like, I don't think I can beat Rhea. Maybe if we just face each other, we can keep it within the group, and that spurs the turn, and then the outset of that.
I was on two people for the last months. Becky or Bayley, without a doubt. Nobody else. Yeah. Those two. Nia's being built up maybe for a match at Perth, right? That would make perfect sense for Rhea to pummel Nia down there. Yeah. Perfect sense.
100%.
But just for what you said, Becky wins, she's instantly going after Rhea. Story's done. Shit, what do we do now? Yep. How do we get Bayley to EO at Mania?
Right.
I've debated about it's going to happen in the Elimination Chamber. That's the way she's going to get it. I don't know. That's too close to then build a story where if you have these 2 months of her just parading around, and maybe she doesn't announce who she's getting the title shot against right off the bat. She's got to think about it for a while. She's got to weigh it out.
Yeah.
Listen, she was on Raw this week for some random reason. She just popped up on Raw.
Yeah. Like, why?
Maybe she gets a tag match against Rhea and her and maybe Dakota, because I said Dakota's healthy. They come together and Rhea just rips them down and she's like, oh, I definitely don't want to take her on that. And she thinks about it. That's the same process that I was going through. Bayley needs more of a process to get to EO, and her winning the Rumble can extend that process. If you pick Becky, Becky says Rhea, and I can't, whatever. Becky gets Rhea because she wins the Elimination Chamber after taking maybe another loss on Raw or something, because she's down in the dumps right now. But when she takes another loss on Raw, she's like, screw it. I'm going to throw my name in the Elimination Chamber. There's my prediction. Write it down. Then she runs through everybody in the Elimination Chamber to get her confidence back up. And we get that Becky-Rhea match that we want at Mania.
I could see that. I think that's the best way to go about this. I think
I had Becky win it on the final count.
That's fair. But in my mind, it changed 3 weeks ago because I'm like, Becky doesn't need to win this. We know it's going to be probably Rhea and Nia in Perth for the title in their match. Becky maybe needs to win it and can win it in the chamber. She's the big draw in that. To me, she doesn't need the second win. Bayley could use the first win and be the one to come after the champ at that point. And then we could have 2 horsewomen with the title. Does that happen? Who the hell knows? But I think that's kind of where we're at right now. I think it's a possibility. I think Becky doesn't need to win it. That doesn't necessarily mean she won't win it.
Right. But with a contract looming, is that an incentive then for her? Or, listen, baby, less schedule, husband possibly going over to the elite.
I think it could be a very good possibility that they're riding off into the sunset here.
Those are 2 that you hear about contract negotiations. We talk about pillars, and we always look at the younger pillars, and it's going to build up, yada, yada, yada. That's the way that we look at pillars. Both of them are clearly pillars in the WWE, legends in the WWE. They've done everything. They just want to see what the grass looks like on the other side. Maybe it's only a 2-year deal, 1-year deal, 3-year deal, whatever. They can go back.
The possibility of it is, listen, I can go somewhere that will give me, for Seth anyways, this Ospreay, Rollins, Tyler Black match that they've been clamoring for on Twitter, and they want. It can also give Rollins Okada. It can give them so many different options. For Becky, the women aren't as important. The women are maybe not as big in name, but there's still possibilities out there for different things. Hayter and Lynch, or Shida and Lynch. Deanna and Lynch, which we could have had in WWE, but they squandered Deanna. The possibilities are endless there for her to pick up somebody and face that. I think that is going to be kind of the incentive here. Is we could have these matches. Doesn't necessarily mean we have to win these matches, but it's matches nonetheless that we can kind of pull up and win.
Maybe Becky wants to go back home and wrestle once.
Maybe
wants to go to Stardom for a little bit.
Imagine.
We talked about people, and it just popped in my head. Megan Bain is back stateside, who just ran roughshod in Stardom, pseudo under contract with AEW.
Yeah,
that could be somebody that returns tonight, as you guys are listening.
People
will be like, we don't know, but Megan Bain, a long time ago, OVW was kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah.
Listen to her podcast from 5 years ago. But
the possibility is there.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it could happen. So, it'd be interesting to see. 100%. All right. We doing this?
We are.
It's time. All right. Men's, I'll go with my surprises that first, and then you can chime in here. I think when we talk about surprises, debuts, return from injuries, Ray, I think, is the obvious one here. Ray just seems right. Rey Mysterio here. Andrade, second obvious. I mean, he left for this opportunity. He's coming back home. I'm going to throw Braun and Sheamus in there. We haven't seen Braun Strowman in quite a long time from his injuries. I think Rumble's perfect time. Sheamus, same thing. I think he should be close to being healed, so I think he'll be back. I'm not going to put in the NXT guys, because I think anybody in NXT, I think Braun Breaker could show up, but he should be already up there. But hey, you know what? He's part of a rejuvenated Baron Corbin's team, and props to Baron Corbin on that, because he's looking better than he has in
ever
ages. I'll throw some names out here. Doesn't mean they'll stick. What about the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger? Maybe he just shows up. He's from the Tampa area. Chris Masters is not doing much. We could have the Master Lock Challenge. Play devil's advocate of Okada and MJF could play in it. They're not going to happen. But I think the biggest one on my list, though, to end the list, that I think seems to be there and ready to happen, just because of the social media stuff that's been done this week. We've put some more emphasis on they've reformed, they're back together. I think Big E's sniffing a return here in this Rumble match. I think New Day reuniting on the bump and all of that, it just seems like Big E is now primed to be back. And not to make light of it, but they put Rich Holland in NXT, so now Big E can come back.
Right.
I think it might be a bit Big E's time to come back.
I love all those. I really love the Big E one. Brock's not showing up. Brock was one of my returns. Brock's not showing up.
Yep.
So my other two, besides your list, because I completely love and I have most of them on there as well. Where's WrestleMania at?
Philly.
How about Bubba Ray?
Okay.
I mean, we may not see him again until he pops back up at WrestleMania for some type of match, but it just stirs the pot. Like, he's the one that I think, nothing against Tommy Dreamer. I love Tommy Dreamer. You're not going to get Devon. I don't think you get Sandman. I don't think you get anybody like that. But I think they have to throw in some ECW to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Bubba's active. The other ones are pseudo-active, right? I think Bubba in a battle royal will be fine. You give him a couple months to, maybe he talks to LA Knight for a while. Maybe him and Omos go at it or something. But then Bubba ends up in some random match again at WrestleMania to get his flowers for being in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
This one's he's been signed to a Legends contract, maybe pseudo. He's going to get Hall of Fame this year, so why not bring him back to do one more Rumble? Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about Shamrock. If he's going to the Hall of Fame, might not be a bad idea to bring him back. I like it.
Have him mix it up with Waller or something, whatever.
Yep.
So, but let's get the brass tacks. Who's winning this?
That's the $1 million question, I think, on the table right now. Who's winning this? Who's taking it? Who's running with it? I'll tell you who's not winning this. It's not going to be Cody Rhodes.
No.
Cody Rhodes is not winning this thing.
Agreed.
No, it's not even close. It's CM Punk at this point. This is the entire reason they brought him back, was to have him win this match. But the story's not there for CM Punk. It's not anymore. They took it away from him. Now there's another story of somebody that needs to finish his story. This is where the flip-flop happens. Because I'm sure when you talk to Ryan,
I had Punk winning.
You had Punk winning.
Challenging Rollins.
10 days later, we're in a boat where doesn't make sense that he wins if he's not facing Rollins. And the only reason he's not facing Rollins is, to your point earlier, Rollins can't do much until Mania. And he's going to limp through Mania. Fuck it. It's your Intercontinental Champion Gunther at this point. Process of elimination. In my eyes. So even if it's not, listen, I got to backtrack. Even if it's not happening on the day 10 years plus one of the anniversary of CM Punk's final televised match within WWE, the story's not there anymore.
No.
The story now is Gunther can carry this for Seth until they get to Mania. I think it's Gunther and Seth. I don't think Rock's coming out. Rock's not throwing bombs in the Mania. Do you think he's throwing bombs in the Rumble?
I'm waiting until you're done.
I'm done, because all I can say
Your pick is Gunther.
I'm going to go Gunther.
I don't hate it.
But you don't like it.
But I don't like it. Because we're going to have a double champ?
No, I think he forfeits it the night after Mania. As soon as he wins that world title, he forfeits
for
it.
12 hours, we have a double champ.
For 24 hours, we have a double champ.
Then we get something that we like. A tournament.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Yep. Exactly, for the title. Yeah, for the title.
I don't hate it. But I don't like it. I think they have now had to change direction in this.
Yeah.
Because of the injury. It was going to be, I said, Punk's winning this, he's challenging Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
I also said that Randy was probably going to win the title. And there's a story there, at least a little bit, with Cody. And then we have Rock and Roman. Head of the table match, tribal chief match, whatever. Rock's number 30. I hate it. I personally hate it. How are we getting there? Besides the challenge at the end of the show, okay,
yeah.
That trumps what just happened in your whatchamacallit, in your Rumble then.
Yeah. But I think they have to do it.
I think right. Either Rock's winning it or Rock's still trumping Gunther winning.
Yeah.
Because of what happened. So what's Gunther do then for 2 months? He knows he's got this. He doesn't lose from now to WrestleMania then to lose the IC title, right? I'm not trying to talk you out of your pick. Because that would be my second one. It really would. And I guess I'm just being a homer, a Mark, actually. He mentioned he's going to sit at the head of the table at IHOP or wherever the fuck he was going to eat. And we've all made this match. And we've made this match, and the WWE has answered that, yes, this is probably going to happen, yada, yada, yada. I just think at least the Rumble would mean something. And I don't mean it against Gunther or against... The one that it damages most is Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Which then, essence, we could flip-flop what happens at Rumble and Perth. Because if Seth looks okay at Perth, there's still... Because there's nothing going on in March, right?
Yeah.
It goes from Elimination Chamber to Mania.
Yep.
I think I'll be okay in 6 more weeks. All right. Punk's going to win the Elimination Chamber, and we're still going to get it. Listen, really, truth be told, Cody Rhodes is the one getting hosed out of all of this. I don't know who Cody's going to face at Mania. Unless they take the title off of Seth. Because it will be longer. When he shows up to do a promo or something, he gets cashed in. I don't think Gunther and Priest at Mania is going to sell fucking tickets.
Mm-mm.
But then you put Cody and Punk is not a main event, but at least an attraction match that we want. I think that's why the face-to-face happened this week. I'm not saying it was forced. I loved it. You heard it. It's probably one of the promos of the year for us. That just doesn't happen off of the fucking cuff.
Yeah.
To say, you two have to go in the ring and shit on each other. It's a plan at some point. Maybe if all this works out well, maybe it's a Backlash matchup, which would be great. That could be the main event of Backlash, right? Because it's a pay-per-view in the first place. That would sell tickets for Backlash. I think they have to make that switch to Rock. You have to win this. You're going to be in there with Cody and Punk. They're going to scuffle. maybe you just grab them both and throw them out at the same time, point to the sign, it's on you and Roman. It's in Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Brock has a little bit of ties to Florida and Tampa, right?
Yeah.
He could be there.
He could be there. In my opinion, I like all of your points, but I think there's one distinction we can make here. Night 1 of Mania, if it's Gunther and Seth, it's not the main event.
Dude.
I think Cody and Punk are the main event, Night 1 of Mania, because that would sell the tickets. They're not going to put the women there. Even if it's Becky and Rhea, I don't think they give the women that shine. They do not give them that spotlight. Co-main event Night 1, maybe. But they're not going to be the main event at Night 1.
No.
They never were and they won't be. Punk, Rhodes, Night 1 main event. Gives Punk what he wants. You didn't get the Rumble, but you get a main event at Mania. Take it or
But
leave
nobody
it.
has a title. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody has a title. It's just an attraction main event.
We've taken both of them out of the title hunt now for
exactly
a hot minute again.
They're just out of the title hunt because the match that you wanted for the title hunt, well, both matches that were for the title hunt got blown up. One, because they got Rock back and they can go forward with this. The other, because they have decided, well, Cody needs somebody to fight. Seth got injured, so...
Yeah, no shame on Seth. We're not saying it's like...
It's no shame on Seth, but he got injured. You know, it happens, and, you know, Tony hindered Jinder, and now that's karma you're forcing on Seth somehow. I don't know how that all works, but that's how it worked. So Seth's injured. To me, they understand that Seth's probably going to be working not at 100%, not carrying the match. And here's the other, the third flip side, fourth, whatever flip side it is, Punk needs somebody to carry the match for him.
Thank you for reading my mind as you started to say that. Yes.
Yeah. So Seth was that guy. Can't be that guy. Cody's your next big guy that can carry that match for him. So it's got to be Cody.
Yeah.
That's why we're not going to see Punk and Roman anytime soon or anything like that. Because
I don't ever see Punk and Roman.
I don't either, because I think if they're not finishing the story this year, then there's no opportunity to see that match.
Oh.
So.
Was Punk going to win the title for you at Mania?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was he was going to win the title. It was going to be a whole thing. He'd get
transition.
Maybe transition, or maybe he carried it for the summer. And we get the Summer of Punk that was supposed to happen in 2014. Take it to SummerSlam and to be done with it. Now, no, but he could challenge for it at SummerSlam.
I felt I like the Gunther thing. I do. But I thought that was forced quickly. Like, that's why I want to kind of poo-poo on Raw a little bit. As much as we love the promo and we love what Seth came out and him and Gunther's interaction. And I know we're said it 100 times. It was an injury, so you kind of have to force some stuff. Gunther said it himself. They've never acknowledged each other. What made Monday, this guy's going to be on the shelf. Minimally, through this one of our 4 big pay-per-views, I'm going to acknowledge him now. He's not going to Perth. Or if he is, he's shaking babies. Shaking hands and kissing.
Do not shake babies, ladies and gentlemen, despite what Mark says.
Shaking babies and kissing hands. No. But, yeah, I don't.
Well, let me throw this caveat at you. What makes Gunther a bigger heel now is I haven't come up to you, acknowledged you as my champion until you got injured, until you were in a weakened state, and I'm showing you I'm not afraid of you. I have nothing to be fearful of. I'm the Intercontinental Champion. That's something. That's a layer, because it shows that We've talked about him being dominant against those in the Intercontinental title picture, but he's beaten Drew and Sheamus and whatnot, but he's not crossing into that world title picture. And the one step he takes into that world title picture, it's at a champion that's already wounded.
Yeah.
It's strategy for Gunther at that point. He strategically made the plan to attack the champion at his weakest. He doesn't, and he's also showing it, he doesn't need a Money in the Bank to do it.
No.
But I think that also leads to the flip side of, what the hell are we doing with the Money in the Bank now?
That's months away. But
we only have 5.
I know.
7, I'm sorry, 6.
6
right
and
now.
a half. But who's
6 and a half. Yeah.
No,
yeah, right. We don't have till June, July for that to be determined.
Steph said they book a year ahead, though. I will beat that forever.
Hey, if they book a year ahead, guess what this injury does? Blows up that whole plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to that point, let's flip side this one more time. I think we're on the 25th
We're
side
probably
of this.
on the 12th back of flip side.
We are. Plan could have been Punk to win the title and lose it the next night for Priest. Biggest shock in the world.
Yeah.
And now you're scrambling.
You are scrambling. Do they pull the trigger? And I know the answer to this, but I still have to get it out of my head. On somebody random. Like, who else? The only other person. You can't, and I'll say this, you can't give Priest both the title shot and the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Does anybody want Drew again? And after that, it falls off dramatically.
Agreed. I think the only way they pull a trigger on somebody that's completely out of the picture is if somebody's walking in bigger than what the picture was.
That would be 2 people. And we both think they're showing up. Well, one's injured on AEW and one's going to AEW.
Yeah. Or is one not really injured on AEW and he just didn't sign a contract?
We know the answer to that.
We do. Or we think we do.
He shows up. All bets are off.
He shows up, he's winning. You can't. Nobody can tell me differently.
No. Either one. Well, I don't know about Okada. Okada shows up. I don't know.
If he shows up, it's a one-off because he's already pretty much signed with AEW. That deal's done.
Yeah, he's getting contract deal stuff out of the way.
Exactly.
MJF shows up.
MJF shows up. Future's already booked.
Yeah, I know. This is the craziness of this pay-per-view. That's why we love it so much. I don't know. I don't have a way in my brain to get to Rock. If Roman's not going to Perth, just by him saying he wants to sit at the head of the table, I know it's The Rock and we can create a match.
Yeah.
I don't think he was going to be in the Rumble. I think Brock was a bigger return. Not that he was going to win that.
Right.
There's got to be something.
Yeah.
And since Thursday, that's essentially when the allegations have been for 3 years now. I understand that, but the big meat and potatoes allegations, fucking Slim Jim said, we're not sponsoring the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. They backed out.
Rock, do a solid. We apologize. You're now the board of director. You get 30. You, Cody, and Punk are in there, and whomever, yada, yada, yada. That's how we get to WrestleMania, because we have more build-up that we have to worry about than building your story. You don't have to go to Perth now.
Yep.
Not that I don't know if he was going to Perth, but
they were talking about it. But I think you're 100% right. Maybe he does show up in the Rumble to save it, if you will, at this point.
We both agree, no matter what, Rock will be at Tampa.
Yeah.
And to me saying he'll win the Rumble, he's already called a shot. Or, as Michael Cole is saying, thank you for watching Royal Rumble. Do smell what the Rock
is cooking.
And then he points
to the sign.
Yeah.
It's there. Something's going to happen. Oh, by the way, Punk posted, he's sitting outside the airport waiting to get picked up so they can make a surprise appearance at the Rumble. So just everybody's worried about that. If you've seen that meme, guys, you know what I'm talking about.
Is he? I wonder if he's bringing the dog.
Oh, Larry would be a great entrance. Entrance 29, Larry.
Last thing I'll bring up, then we'll do our goodbyes. Rumors are flying around that Hogan could show up.
Okay, I heard this, and I'm like, that man can barely walk as it is. How do they expect him to go number 30?
No possible way, right?
There's just no way.
We're creating Roman's reign to get rid of him.
Wouldn't that be some shit if SummerSlam was Hogan versus Roman?
Do you buy a ticket for that?
I wouldn't.
The reign against Reigns.
67-year-old man? Is that how old he is?
Yeah. So you know what we're doing today as you guys are listening. What do you got booked for the rest of the week?
Oh, man. Rest of the week, get more settled in. I'll make a time for return to trivia. Some odds and ends. We start the month of February, so, as far as I know.
You believe that already?
I can't believe that. But at the same time, when I'm at work, it feels like it's January 45th, 2027. Okay? That's how long January has felt in some aspects. But then when I get home, it's like, okay, wow, shit, February's like 4 days away. So, and the countdown begins not for Perth, not for the Chamber, but for another year to tick on the calendar for me. So, but next week is just tick, 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 tick. Yeah, boom. What about you? What do you got on the agenda for next week?
Besides waxing the floors tomorrow, I have to squeeze also an interview in.
Oh,
by the way, I got 2 of those this week. I got 3 games this week. Yeah, I know that thing they call work, of course, but
yeah, I'm counting that.
Yeah, I might show up, but might not.
Yeah, who knows? I'd have pulled you back during the Rumble.
What?
Pull you back for the Rumble and then just say, I'm down for the week.
Down. I'm sick. I can't come in.
Sick.
Of 2023 vacation days.
Hey, play your cards right. Your voice will completely disappear by Monday, and you can just say you have laryngitis.
That doesn't do anything for a garbage man.
Could
that
say
hurts me not doing a basketball game then. That sucks.
I was trying to help you out. It failed miserably, but whatever.
Yeah, I know. Guys, too much is happening. Not enough is happening. Everything's happening. This is why this pay-per-view for whatever the hell you call them, premium live events, is definitely one of the favorites of all time, because I have The Rock. He now has Gunther. Last week, I would have bet a paycheck, if not my retirement, that Punk was winning.
I think both of us would have been in the same boat with that one, but that's floated away, burned to a crisp. Viking funeral on the waters there at this point.
If he still wins, cool. I'm all for it. Just don't know where it goes. I don't know where it goes.
Guess we'll find out.
So, remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
You're a garbage can, not a garbage cannot. Make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them.
Because you never know.